guys, welcome back to the Real Southern Garden. I'm Sarah, and today we're going to do a front garden transformation video. So I love watching these kinds of videos on other people's channels, and I thought, you know what, the growing season has slowed down. Well, I mean, it's pretty much over for most of us, unless you're in Florida. And it's time to do some really fun videos like this. So hopefully this will give you some inspiration if you're starting a brand new flower bed or thinking of redoing it, or maybe you just like to watch transformations like I do. When we bought this property, we knew we were going to have to do a lot of work to this front porch and to these stairs. And we brought in structural engineers to make sure everything was going to be okay and not move again and all of that. And also that our design was going to work. A lot of times brick stairs here in Georgia will pull away from the foundation of the home. They had done that here. Long story short, I'm the daughter of a bricklayer, but I sure can't lay brick, and I wish I could. I wish I could live in here. But it took us a while to find the right contractors for the job. And because of that, we had to live with it looking real crazy. I mean, it looks like a car had run into the side of my house for a while. That's how bad it looked for about a year and a half. And it also meant that I could not plant these front flower beds. I had to just leave them bare. And for a gardener, that's really hard to do. I was chomping at the bit to get this planted because this was the front of my home. And granted, we are a long way from the street, so there's that. But for me, what my garden looks like, what anything looks like really matters. What matters the most is what I think about it. And I was like, man, this is looking rough. So we finally did get it all put together. And as they say, it was worth the wait, as most things are. But what I did do was I started with my side flower bed first. And I came up with the design that I wanted to carry around to the front flower bed. And it really gave me a motivation to do that little part and have that looking nice. But I wanted something that would look good the entire growing season, that would give me the biggest bang for my buck, as I always say on my channel. And I did Boxwoods and Incredible Hydrangeas. I was also working with a whole lot of shade in this front flower bed. And even if I did have a full sun front flower bed, as much as I love roses, I would not put all roses up here, because in the South, there's a few that perform really great, but even those get a little bit of black spot and look scraggly sometimes. So really want something, if you're like me, in your front flower bed that's just going to be better looking most of the time. And for me, it was hydrangeas and boxwood. Through time, I also added camellias, some rebloom azaleas that can take deep shade. There's just one variety that I have found that actually will. And some other little things here and there as time has gone on. We pop in annuals and that sort of thing. We've got daffodils in the spring, but the hydrangeas and the boxwood, they're the main things. They're the big show up here in the front flower bed. Also want to say this was an older garden that we were renovating or, redoing per se. And there's a lot of oak trees on this property. And if you're doing a garden in an older at an older property like that, there are certain tools you just kind of got to have. We used a Sawzall, and I just want to bring that up because one of my YouTube friends, he was using one of his videos, and someone made fun of him for that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? They must not have ever renovated an older garden bed, because there are roots that you're only going to get around them if you cut through them. I mean, we've got some 100-year-old trees, and these beds are a long way from the tree, but you're gonna have roots. You're gonna have to cut through those roots, and Sawzalls are awesome. So just gonna say, I use one too. So whoever was saying that to him, Sawzalls work miracles, all right? Anyway, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of fun to put together and go back down memory lane a little bit. Keep in mind that this footage was before I had a YouTube channel, so some of it is going to be the vertical video, not a lot, but a little bit. So anyway, let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy.
All right, so this is what we started with, a complete blank slate with the exception of some daffodils and a hydrangea in the corner that didn't even come up for a couple of years. There was lots of work to be done, rocks to remove, the brickwork had to be done, as we talked about, and there was just nothing growing here. There was a little azalea right there on the far right side of the screen that you can see. You can see the tile was completely cracked up and uneven. There's a picture of my daughter on the front porch. And it just killed me to have to wait. Now the side garden is where I could start a little sooner. And you can see it was a blank slate too. But I could go ahead and start that even though we didn't have the work done on the patio and the front porch. So that's what I did. I started with this garden with the design that I knew I would carry around to the front garden. And there was an amaryllis that was here. In fact, I think that guy is still there in that flower bed. But what I did was I took Incredible Hydrangeas, some Boxwood, and I started placing them. I used my favorite cardboard paper. I use this for everything. It's linked in the description. It's painter's paper from the hardware store. Layered it to kill down those weeds and put the mulch over top. It's just easier to cut than cardboard when you have corners and plants to go around. And that is why I love it. And then this is how it started to look when it was first planted. Now that is pretty much how it looks today during the growing season. And I'm still adding things, of course, as we go along. But a completely different look, as you can see, and pretty low maintenance for me because this is a very shady area. And I wanted something that would give me a lot of bang for my buck and would look beautiful throughout the growing season. So then we moved to the front of the front flower bed, and I had to move all those rocks by hand with a wheelbarrow, get them out of the way. You can see how cracked up the brick was around the stairs. We had to live with it like that for about, I think it was like a year and a half before we actually found the right contractor to do the job. And like I said, this happens a lot in Georgia. They just don't put these very heavy brick stairs on the same foundation of the house or even on a footer. A lot of times they'll just do some really crazy things with construction, and it's really heavy and it sinks and it pulls away from the house. So we had to have all of that repaired, have the front fascia here repaired with some new brick. They did save some of the old brick. They did a fabulous job. Really love the guys that we had do the work. And if you're in the Atlanta area and you do need a recommendation for a great bricklayer, let me know in the comments and I will let you know who I used. And you can see that kind of Spanish looking tile that is up there on the patio. That's an interesting choice. To each their own. It's not what I would choose for a front porch, but that is what we started with. And we knew we wanted something that would be very easy to maintain. So we went back with something that kind of looks like flagstone, but it's not. It's just kind of a bluish gray color for the top tile, an outdoor tile. And they're a lot larger pieces too. So it really updated everything. But yeah, we lived with it looking like this for a long time. Luckily, we're a long way from the street. It just about killed me. But that's how it started. And sometimes really great things just take time, you know, and boy, this took more time than I wanted it to. But we just had to find the right people, like I said, to do the job. And we took off the black railing that went around that front porch area. Like I said, we moved all of the rocks so we wouldn't have those spilling out onto the brick walkway. And then we decided to go back with wooden stairs, actually, and you're going to see those coming up, just to be extra safe. And to tell you what, it actually brightened up the entire porch to go back with the wooden stairs. And then you can see a before and after of the tile that we chose and how different that ended up looking. There's the stairs before we had the railing. And I just think it, like I said, it really brightened up the porch to do it with the wooden stairs. Normally you'll see a house that is made of wood and they'll put brick stairs. So we did it a little different. There they are. There's a shot with it before the stairs were even put on. But yeah, I love the way that it just added some individuality and brightened up that space a little bit. So then I was able to eventually start planting my hydrangeas, and this is how it looks now in the growing season. I also added some of these rebloom azaleas. These are the ones that can take a lot of heavy shade, the only variety that really will, and some camellias in there. But for the most part, the hydrangeas and the boxwoods, they do the heavy lifting. And this is how it looks from a farther away vantage point. I can't say enough good things about hydrangeas and boxwood. I think they're fabulous. You get a lot of bang for your buck. And for southern gardens especially, I just think hydrangeas are a no-brainer. They really do love the humidity that we have here in the south, and for the most part, they are pretty healthy. The Incredibles especially, I don't really get any fungal problems or very much leaf spot or anything like that on them. They do really well for me.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you liked today's video. And if you did, we would love for you to subscribe to our channel. Give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. I love talking to you guys in the comments. Hope you're staying warm wherever you are. And I will see you back here next time in the next video right here at the Real Southern Garden. Bye, guys.